I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble.
I just spent the past hour after filming today's daily video watching X-Men content instead of preparing for Spider-Man. So that's great. But that's me, I guess. I kind of tend to get a little too fixated on whatever the heck is popular in my brain at the moment. But it's good stuff. X-Men 97 is peak. And I think even if I wasn't, I did end up watching some Spider-Man stuff because it like helps me get in my mind and my feelings. I end up always kind of coming back to Spider-Man in the realm of fictional stuff, and that's what I want to get to. Why do I fixate on and revert to obsessing over always Peter Benjamin Parker? Or frankly, it's because I think he's the greatest fictional work ever created by a collective of people. But why? I spent so much time obsessing over him, and I feel like I need to encapsulate it somehow. Even if it's not very good, I'll do it again and better. But I think for my own sanity, I need to explore this. So, if you don't mind, allow me to bring you through an amateur's video essay on Spider-Man. So, why Spider-Man? Why Peter Parker? And I think, we obviously have to start with the person. Because that's it. That's why I named him specifically. Not to put down any other Spider people or discredit any of the other Spider-Men, Spider-Women. All of them are fantastic. I love them. I made this after watching Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. Because Hobie Brown is freaking awesome. But I always come back to Peter. I mean, he's the original. But I grew up with Peter. Like, not just like when I was a kid, I saw him a lot. I grew alongside him in so many different things. Obviously, like Spectacular and various comics that I would hear about. But it's that character progression that really struck a nerve with me. Peter Parker was not a superhero. He was not born a superhero. He was selfish when he got his spider powers, and we understand, obviously he was bullied and repressed, and so when he finally felt powerful, he took that for himself. It's kind of the inverse to the Captain America effect from the movies, whereas like a little man who has not known power has more respect for that power. And in this case, it's shown that not necessarily always that's true, because sometimes people want to, if they've felt powerless and they want to feel powerful, they don't want that to be taken away. And Peter was one of those people. He wanted to care for the only two people who were ever nice to him, obviously, Aunt May and Uncle Ben. But I'm pretty sure, in his own words, the rest of the world could go hang for all he cared. But that personal flaw, that anger, that human selfishness is what brings about his ultimate metamorphosis. With great power, there must great responsibility. When Uncle Ben died, while technically not a direct result of Peter's actions. Peter knew that because he was a bad person, because he pushed away and was mean and disrespectful to someone, if he had not been that selfish, his uncle would not have died. He would not have lost his surrogate father if he had done the right thing. And he knows that. Even if it isn't directly his fault, he still holds that guilt. And then in that, we come back to another flaw of him over-guilting himself. Showing again him being the most personal superhero. And I think that's what I can never get over, is the personal stakes that always exist in Spider-Man stories. As Peter is trying his hardest to save the day or something, there's always something personal at stake. Because then it makes it feel more like this is a Spider-Man story, you know? And also, to that point, relatable even. Like, I'm not gonna go punch a man with 4 mechanical arms, but I might be stuck in the middle of doing something while having to think about all my other personal problems. I might have to go to work carrying a big load of just whatever life has thrown at me recently, but I still have to go to work. You know, I have responsibilities to uphold. I can't abandon everything because I want to do this or I want that. And I think part of my work ethic and personality has been built off of that understanding of responsibility because I grew up with Spider-Man. Again, growing with him. He has that initial growth in his origin story of growing from, I can do whatever I want. Oh, but if I don't keep myself in check, this could hurt myself and others. And not only that, taking his responsibility a step further to help people. And, like, really help them. I mean, the video I watched to get in the mood of Spider-Man for this was a video essay on Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 310, which is so good, and I need it in my collection so bad. But frick, I killed something out. Taking care of people. That's what I was trying to get at. He takes care of people. You know? And not to... because I don't want to uplift a character by pushing down other characters. I don't like that because it feels like you're standing on nothing then. Like, if you have to throw shade at all these other characters to make your character look better, then is he really all that good? But you don't always see in other superhero stories the interaction, the one-on-one between the hero and someone they save or help out. And whereas Spider-Man stories are kind of built off of that entirely. Maybe not entirely, but a lot of the more grounded stories, Peter is just trying to help people in however he can. Whether it's saving their life from falling debris, or just simply hanging out. And that extends beyond the superhero, like, antics. Like, you don't have to... That's what's great about, like, Spider-Man, is that you don't have to be super. You don't have to have superpowers to do a lot of what he does. Because what he does is just put his best foot forward despite everything. I mean, bro could be in the middle of a whole bunch of nonsense, but he will take time to help out the little guy. You know, like in 310, he helps out the kid, helps him do homework, get better grades in school, or giving his shirt to someone whose shirt he ruined because he was in a fight with Doc Ock. Like, it's little things like that that portray, like, real heroism. That, because that's the thing, like, these stories are all well and good, but they're fantasies. They're just made up. They're not going to happen. They haven't happened. They're not real. You know, the world isn't going to end due to some mad scientist turning up global warming by 30% or something. But you might see someone struggling with something. Could be, I don't know, walking across the street. It's cliche, but still. Or carrying groceries, or trying to find something. And it's that great power comes great responsibility. The great power that's on display that's real is the power of kindness. Giving an act of kindness. There's a hero in all of us, you know? And that's what Spider-Man represents. The inner strength to be a good person. And that's why I think stories like If This Be My Destiny resonate with me so hard. That is absolutely one of my favorite stories from anything Spider-Man ever. And it's just issue 35 out of, we're closing in on 1,000 at this point of The Amazing Spider-Man. But it's issue 35, I think. It could be 35, 36, or 34. I'm not entirely sure. I've read it in my omnibus, but anyways, what it gets at is Peter's crushed. He's fallen to his own shortcomings because of his faults. He is in a situation now where he has pretty much literally hit rock bottom. He allowed his anger to get the best of him, and it has cost him everything he was trying to accomplish. Almost. And he's ready to give up. He's fine. He's about to die. And so is Aunt May. And so he can see Uncle Ben and Aunt May, and he's like, okay, this is it. But when he sees them, he remembers that that's not okay to just fall over and give up when it gets a little rough. No. And I like it every time I think about it, especially because this huge, unbelievably heavy chunk of machine or whatever that has fallen on him is his own fault. You know, it's not like it was placed there. It's not like he was trapped by a villain in some convoluted scheme that he must overcome. No, he has created an obstacle because of his own flaws. And he was going to give in and give up. But by holding on to the hope of his loved ones, and by wanting to not give up for them, or I actually haven't read it recently, by wanting to love them, love others, help them, he finds the strength in himself to keep going, to do the impossible task, or do the task he thought impossible, finding he has more strength than he thought, and lifting that above him, and pushing forward, pushing through impossible odds to be a better person and to help people. That's what it is. And that's why I love Spectacular Spider-Man TV show's rendition of that. It's like someone's counting on me. I can't just give up.
What am I doing? I can't give up. Not with Gwen depending on me.
Sure, it may seem impossible, but who cares? So, what am I trying to get at? Why do I love Spider-Man so much? It's because Spider-Man represents a fundamental in humanity. Or it doesn't matter how strong you are, how much you can do, if you can spin a web, or climb a wall, or punch bad guys in the face. Doesn't matter. We're all human. We will all fail. Failure is built into the human experience. And the great thing about Spider-Man is that he shows that that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know? You know, we can tend to put too much perfectionism on ourselves. I mean, heck, I did that when trying to make this. I was like, it has to be good. I have to write it well. I have to make it so awesome and perfect and better than all the other ones I've ever seen. But that's not the point, is to get it perfect first try. The point is to try. We aren't walls built to withstand every obstacle. We're humans. You know? We try. We fail. Fall. Die trying. It was so interesting to me while writing this why that phrase kept popping up in my head, and it seems so familiar. Obviously, Sam Raimi's Green Goblin said that in the first Spider-Man movie, and I think it helped me appreciate that more as why Goblin said that, because that's what he was trying to, or that's what Sam was trying to get across as part of Spider-Man's thing, is that we do love to see a hero fail, fall, die trying, but not because we want them to suffer, but because we want to see them succeed over that, because that we fail. And so our strength cannot be measured in our physical ability, or not all strength, obviously. Our inner strength cannot be presented physically, but in our ability to try again, to fight again. That even when knocked down, we can push back against impossible odds, to rise from our own ashes and press on against all odds. One of the bravest things a person can do is get back up and try to do better. That's the feeling, that raw inspiration that Spider-Man gives me and so many other people. And that's the specialness that I find in this character, because I don't want to idolize him either. He is ink on paper. He is not real. But through writers, through creators who have put their pain and their struggles into him, into this creation, they can teach lessons to others, to new generations, that even us who maybe now have found success, we have, are, and will fail. All of us have. No matter our skill level, popularity, social status, doesn't matter. We're all going to fail at some point. But with these examples, these written little pieces of inspiration, we can show that there is a point past the failure. That we can learn from it. That we can grab hold of something, of hope, and do better. And with Spider-Man, we can see that if he can stand back up, so can we. That is why I love Spider-Man so much. This connective feeling between all human beings, that we can come together and appreciate our strength to stand up again.